Who am I to answer President Trump?
Guys, Akpabio on the road. Akpabio cannot stand Trump. He said, who am I to respond to Trump? Who am I to react to Trump's statement? So guys, you can see that there's no leadership in place in this country. All of them are fidgeting because of Trump's statements. And this is the National Assembly that is supposed to have stood with the people of Benue, the people of Plateau State. They would have presented bills that will stop these invaders. They would have passed bills that will restore those of them in the IDPs back to their homes. But they just keep sitting there, helping Tinubu to borrow more money outside. And Nigerians are not even seeing any effect of all the money they are bringing into the country in the name of borrowing. Anyway, guys, before I allow you to take a look at the video where Akpabio is saying, who am I to answer Trump, to respond to Trump, to react to Trump's statement, in case you don't know, the Tinubu's government has declared state of emergency on Nigeria security training institutions. You can imagine state of emergency on training institutions. Instead of them to show political will to end insecurity, they are declaring state of emergency on Nigeria security training centers. So, guys, you can imagine that. Now, many Nigerians have been reacting to this statement because for them, they believe that this is not the action needed now by the Tinubu's government. At least they should just declare state of emergency in security generally in the entire country. But Tinubu is declaring it on institutions, meaning they want to go and start fixing institutions as if those buildings are what we need. We just need political power after we've been told that insecurity in Nigeria is linked to politics. I mean, politicians use insecurity to come to power, to grab power. That is the problem. Instead of them to say, okay, we know how APC helped security to worsen in Nigeria, let's tackle it. They are now going to, declare state of emergency on institutions. Now, let me read out some of the reactions. This person say, Asiwaju brain don't enter reset mood. Where are those bigots and data boys who continue to troll everyone who calls out Tinubu to show leadership? Where are the Yahoo data boys? This is a decision that Tinubu should have taken on that very day he took over power, that Tinubu would have declared state of emergency from the beginning. This person say, don't let him lie to you. He is doing this because of loans he's getting from the West. Nigerian lives means nothing to this person. Thousands of Christians must have been dead before 30 days expires, before the 30 days. God. This person said the fear of U.S. Department of War is the beginning of Tinubu's wisdom and understanding. Hey, and this other person here said, America has put fire in Nigeria. Only one statement from Trump. Tinubu's brain has entered a reset mood, a factory reset mood. We need more words from Donald Trump. The more Trump speaks, the more Tinubu embraces his duty he had for long abandoned. So Nigerians are really applauding Trump that his statement is making the government to sit up. But the question remains, do they have the political will? I mean the APC. Does APC have the political will to end insecurity? In case you don't know, these things have political undertone. So guys, let's see how all this is going to work. Now take a look at the moment Akpabio said, who am I to answer Trump, to respond to Trump? Take a look.
Who am I to answer President Trump? Have you ever heard of such a thing? And the Senate President said that Nigerians are not complaining, that we like the way we are living. That I can deal with it, but then that the Nigerians are not complaining. I've petitioned the police. I've also petitioned the DSS. The comment is in order. You are not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying this time, the Senate President of Nigeria did not answer President Trump. And that the quotation is meant to cause diplomatic row. It is the presidency that will answer President Trump. And all Nigerians are doing their best in that direction. But who is that person that will go and ascribe a comment to the Senate President when he was never met? Communication is very clear that if you are not well informed, you are deformed. And then also, my colleagues, you also think of what you do with the social media that has a lot of breaking news. Breaking news should not break the society. But a situation where somebody will sit in the comfort of his room and produce a report and produce fake pictures of 2023 when the Senate President with senators visited Port Harcourt on a very different thing and say, oh, Senate President answers President Trump. Who am I to answer President Trump? Have you ever heard of such a thing? And the Senate President said that Nigerians are not complaining, that we like the way we are living. That I can deal with it, but then that the Nigerians are not complaining. I've petitioned the police. I've also petitioned the DSS. The comment is in order. You are not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying this time, the Senate President of Nigeria did not answer President Trump. And that the quotation is meant to cause diplomatic row. It is the presidency that will answer President Trump. And all Nigerians are doing their best in that direction. But who is that person that will go and ascribe a comment to the Senate President when he was never met? So I believe the cyber crimes unit of the police, the DSS and others should find that character out because it is meant to cause friction. It is meant to cause friction and put the Nigerian Senate in disrepute. I can only speak your voice. We have not discussed the comment of President Trump in chambers yet. I know we will. And I believe we will. Those in support that we should in future discuss this comment, say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. We shall. It's only then that the Senate President can make a comment. Not somebody sitting in his bedroom to talk nonsense.
Mr. President, Nigeria is sovereign.
So that I will not be misquoted, I said that on social media, a certain blogger brought out the news that Senator Akpabio said that Christians are not complaining, Nigerians are not complaining, that Trump should face his problems in America and not focus on Nigeria. I have not made the statement because we have not discussed the issue of President Trump yet in chambers. We shall do so in combination with the executive because we believe that it is a matter of foreign policy and diplomatic relations. I have refrained from taking any motion on that yet until we know the direction of government and what government intends to do about the position that he has taken. And you need to know that the position President Trump is taking is not based on the current realities. The position is based on a purported 2010 report. 2010 report, 15 years ago, that they said some people came on fact-finding from the US Congress, and then they went only to Plateau and Benue. They did not go to Zamfara and other areas. I have maintained here that if you go to a predominantly Muslim community, terrorists and bandits go there to kill people. Majority of those who will die there will be Muslims. But when you enter a predominantly Christian community, like Benue and Plateau, and then you cause mayhem, majority of those who will die there will be Christians. So the Nigerian problem needs to be weighed from all sides, and all we are looking for is peace. So there is no Nigerian that does not want to sleep with his two eyes closed. And there is no Nigerian that does not live with a Muslim in his house. There is no Nigerian that does not live with a Christian in his house. Nigeria is multi-religious, multi-ethnic, and we live with one another. So when people take issues out of Nigeria and they go and misrepresent and try to create the impression that Christians and Muslims are fighting, totally untrue. We shall discuss that later. But in the meantime, we must warn those on social media who continue to misquote and misrepresent people, or even ascribe quotes to people that never occurred. That is the reason why I've directed my lawyers to petition that blogger, so that that blogger can come and tell us when the Senate President made any allusion or response to whatever President Trump could have said. But you need to know that this calls again for a closer look at social media, so that their breaking news will not break Nigeria. I think as lawmakers, we have a responsibility to look into it. It should be practiced with responsibility, with decorum, and with integrity. Having given that warning, the Senate is hereby adjourned to the 5th day of November 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt. One announcement. As we were having this sitting, there were people at the gate demonstrating. They said most of them are contractors. who are awaiting payment from maybe the federal government. So I sent Senator Daramodu to go and address them and also let them know the efforts of the federal government. We have just approved domestic borrowing to the sum of 1.1 trillion, which is meant to settle indebtedness of contractors. So, and I think that should assuage them. So I call on them to give government time so that they will be, their grievances will be attended to. The Senate resolution of 15th October on the demise of Senator Mohammed Mana, 1950 to 2025. A Senate delegation to condole with the family, people and government of Adamawa State on the demise of Senator Mohammed Mana, who lived between 1950 and 2025. Senator Binus Yaro will be the chairman of that committee. Other members will be Senator Ibrahim Dankwambo, Senator Haruna Manu, Senator Samaila Kaila, Senator Aminu Iyabas, Senator Amos Johanna, and very distinguished Senator Babies. Kindly represent the Senate and revert to us. May his soul rest in perfect peace.
Mind, respect to...
In this case, I did not say my mind.
I'm coming. Don't be scared. I can say.
I said
I'm not
not
scared of Trump. I will say my mind.
President or a country be scared.
I'm a Nigerian. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. I'm a parliamentarian. I'm a deputy president. I can speak on behalf of Nigeria. I'm not scared of Trump.
But do not allow others to speak for you.
Don't be scared of Trump.
Get
you
something.
can say your mind about Trump.
Get something.
We're a sovereign nation.
But get something. Don't allow people to ascribe what you did not say to you.
You did wrong, but you didn't say it. That's correct. You didn't say it.
Yes.
But
what I'm saying is that
you shouldn't be scared of saying anything.
No. If you want me to say it now, I will say. I will say. Should I say?
We're not scared of Trump.
I will say. But then listen.
We're a sovereign nation. We're not scared of
I
Trump.
can only say what is discussed.
And he's saying lies about our country. What he's saying about our country is not correct. And we have the right to dispute what he said.
Clark, please delete what the Deputy Senate President has said. He spoke out of tune. Olamileko, don't encourage the Senate President or the Deputy Senate President to breach our rules. That's not the issue in discussion. Bring the section of the act. No, I said I'm talking about social media. So Senator Karimi, don't plead with him. Let him continue to talk. Social media nobody should sit at home and one day they may even say that Olamileko killed. One announcement. As we were having this sitting, there were people at the gate demonstrating. They said most of them are contractors who are awaiting payment from maybe the federal government. So I sent Senator Daramodu to go and address them and also let them know the efforts of the federal government. We have just approved domestic borrowing to the sum of 1.1 trillion, which is meant to settle indebtedness of contractors. So, and I think that should assuage them. So I call on them to give government time so that they will be, their grievances will be attended to. The Senate resolution of 15th October on the demise of Senator Mohammed Mana, 1950 to 2025. a Senate delegation to condole with the family, people and government of Adamawa State on the demise of Senator Mohammed Mana, who lived between 1950 and 2025. Senator Binus Yaro will be the chairman of that committee. Other members will be Senator Ibrahim Dankwambo, Senator Haruna Manu, Senator Samaila Kaila, Senator Aminu Iya Abbas, Senator Amos Johanna, and very distinguished Senator Babies. Kindly represent the Senate and revert to us. May his soul rest in perfect peace. So that I will not be misquoted, I said that on social media, a certain blogger brought out the news that Senator Akpabio said that Christians are not complaining, Nigerians are not complaining, that Trump should face his problems in America and not focus on Nigeria. I have not made the statement because we have not discussed the issue of President Trump yet in chambers. We shall do so in combination with the executive because we believe that it is a matter of foreign policy and diplomatic relations. I have refrained from taking any motion on that yet until we know the direction of government and what government intends to do about the position that he has taken. And you need to know that the position that President Trump is taking is not based on the current realities. The position is based on a purported 2010 report. 2010 report, 15 years ago, that they said some people came on fact-finding from the US Congress, and then they went only to Plateau and Benue. They did not go to Zamfara and other areas. I have maintained here that if you go to a predominantly Muslim community, terrorists and bandits go there to kill people. Majority of those who will die there will be Muslims. But when you enter a predominantly Christian community, like Benue and Plateau, and then you cause mayhem, majority of those who will die there will be Christians. So the Nigerian problem needs to be weighed from all sides, and all we are looking for is peace. So there is no Nigerian that does not want to sleep with his two eyes closed. And there is no Nigerian that does not live with a Muslim in his house. There is no Nigerian that does not live with a Christian in his house. Nigeria is multi-religious, multi-ethnic, and we live with one another. So when people take issues out of Nigeria and they go and misrepresent and try to create the impression that Christians and Muslims are fighting, totally untrue. We shall discuss that later. But in the meantime, we must warn those on social media who continue to misquote and misrepresent people, or even ascribe quotes to people that never occurred. That is the reason why I've directed my lawyers to petition that blogger, so that that blogger can come and tell us when the Senate President made any allusion or response to whatever President Trump could have said. But you need to know that this calls again for a closer look at social media, so that their breaking news will not break Nigeria. I think as lawmakers, we have a responsibility to look into it. It should be practiced with responsibility, with decorum, and with integrity. Having given that warning, the Senate is hereby adjourned to the 5th day of November 2025 at 11 a.m. prompt. Sir, direct the clerk to make sure that those items are brought forward tomorrow, because we have adjourned already. The same people that did this rail line are the same people seeking to take back government by revolution. The same characters. And they are without remorse, without answering questions. The same characters are the ones now seeking to take back a government after they left this kind of mess behind. with the amount of indebtedness they caused the country. So for me, temporary shutdown of services, following track instability near to Agbo, as of April 2023, this current administration had not even come into power. So we already had a failed project before we came here. By December of the same year, a lot of derailments are taking place. By 2024, you had Owalero derailment. By July 2024, derailment near Ujevu. Am I right? Ide in Delta. By August, 1 month after, another disruption caused by mechanical faults. You spend trillions on rail line. You commission it, and within 1 year, you have all sorts of mechanical faults. We have to find out whether they were actually new ones or whether they were the ones that were discarded. It's almost like going to an airport. You see a lot of planes that are no longer in use, and somebody will go and paint it and put new seats and sell it, and then it comes. After you finish pouring water on it, like Air Nigeria, a Vamus or Vamusis. Air Nigeria, I saw when water was being poured, when Air Nigeria, 2 of the planes arrived. But I've not seen Air Nigeria enter Air Nigeria. What happened? As chairman of preparation, you will know what happened. Because so I don't know what happened. I'm still looking for Air Nigeria till today. After the fanfare, the same thing happened in this rail line. It's a very serious issue. So the lives of Nigerians are involved. The economy of Nigeria is involved. So we look at the prayers. Yes. Distinguished Senator Ide Dafinone, you have brought this to us. You want us to do a thorough job on it, isn't it? Okay, so all these your prayers, urge the federal government, mandate the Committee on Land, call on federal government, request Nigerian Railway Corporation, do this, urge Ministry of Transportation. Everything you are putting here boils down to only one place. Investigation, investigation, investigation. Distinguished colleagues, those who are in support, that all these prayers boil down to investigation, say aye. Aye. And those again say nay. The ayes have it. So who will cow shit? Distinguished Senator Ningi, you've spoken before. Maybe I should. Oh, okay. Suggest so that there's no other prayer.
No. Prayer.
Investigation. Yes.
My prayer says, conduct a full-scale investigation through public hearing on the general situation of our rail lines in Nigeria. Conduct a full-scale investigation. No. It has to be a general one. It has to be a general one. Because this is an opportunity to make the issue a Nigerian issue. So, full-scale investigation through public hearing on the general situations of our rail lines. So whatever
How do you want to couch it so that we can call for secondment?
I believe that the recommendation of distinguished Senator Ningi is in order, but I'd like to possibly extend it so that it clearly covers the past, and I believe the borrowing, the cost, and the specification should be clearly stated in the resolution that we are passing. And then the future should also be covered. Where are we going with the maintenance and development of the rail line so that the investigation looks at the rail situation in its totality, so that when they finish, we have a comprehensive report on the rail line system in the country.
So you suggest that we should set up an ad hoc committee to undertake full-scale investigation
yes, sir,
into the situation in the country in view of the consistent derailment and dangers to lives and properties?
Yes, sir.
That the Senate should set up an investigative panel that will call for public hearing, and then, of course, and also call the players, both past and present, to interrogate and come up with a comprehensive solution on why we are having the teething problems and at the same time the way forward. I think that's what they are trying to say. Yes, any second,
yes.
Distinguished Senator.
The corporation to immediately fix the problem so that that line will now become operational. Then the investigation will follow. Yes, because the major issue now is to restore service, to restore the rail system so that it begins to work. Very, very important. So then you have to mandate the NRC to make that line operational, and then investigation will now follow. Full-scale investigation to unravel the performance of the rail system.
Any seconder to that?
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Joel Onwabo Thomas. I represent the good people of Delta South Senatorial District. Mr. President, I second the first motion, which says that another committee is set up to thoroughly investigate.
The first motion is the motion of the Deputy Senate President calling on the Nigerian Railway Corporation to immediately fix.
Okay, the first one is
along the Ojevo.
Okay. Okay, so to mandate NRC to immediately fix that rail line. I so second, sir.
Thank you. This one colleagues, the motion, the prayers, the first amendment should now read that we should call on the Nigerian Railway Corporation and mandate them to immediately fix the current technical problem that led to the derailment on the Ojevo stroke Itaigbe line. Immediately. Those in support of the prayer as moved and seconded say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. So that's prayer one. Now, there's prayer two, Senator Shumule. The prayer two will now be the full-scale investigation.
Yeah, Mr. President, I write to second the amendment originally moved by Senator Nigin, except for the issue of public hearing. If you are doing investigation, I think the committee will naturally look out for experts, those who have the know-how.
The method of investigation will not matter to us. But the major thing is private hearing is an option. They will fix it. The major thing is a holistic investigation to be carried out on the situation. And of course, it will involve members of the public. It will involve inviting the Nigerian Railway Corporation and so many others. And then if you don't make it transparent, people will think that there's a wish hunt.
Yeah.
Okay. They will think there's a wish hunt. So I think we don't need to mention public hearing or any type of hearing. But we know that, as usual with these chambers, we must make it transparent so that the Nigerian public will be part and parcel of the investigation, and so that there will be believability in the outcome.
I'm very well guided, sir. So I write to second the motion as moved by Senator Nigim, to the effect that a whole-scale investigation should be carried out by the committee of the Senate. By the committee of the Senate.
By an ad hoc committee of the Senate. Those in support of the motion that the Senate should immediately set up an ad hoc committee to undertake a whole-scale investigation of the situation of our rail lines vis-a-vis the loans collected from China and then the items brought into the country, including the implementation of the rail lines across board. Those in support as seconded by Senator Shumole, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator Sherifadin, I think we should have a time frame within which they should bring back progress report of the investigative hearing, because this is a very serious issue that Nigerians would like to hear. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah,
Mr. President, sir. I said 4 weeks should be okay, sir. That's my
4 weeks. Distinguished Senator Ndume.
Mr. President, that distinguished Senator Babangida was part of the previous administration. I want to add additional prayers to find out, the committee should find out whether Senator Oswin Akpabio was also part of the administration when the loan was collected and signed. I so move.
We now come back to Senator Ndume. Senator Ndume, you said additional prayer should be to find out whether Senator Godswill Akpabio was there when the loan was taken. But you know I wasn't there when the loan was taken. But you approved the loan. You approved the loan in the Senate. You were there. you approved the loan in the Senate. You were there. But you did not go back to check how the loan was utilized. We are now trying to do your job for you. Senator Ndume, after you approved the loan to be taken from China and the moribund or whatever, the trucks and facilities were brought into Nigeria as against the ones that the Chinese took to Mombasa, which is still working, and we started having these problems. So we became a dumping ground. You were there. You never set up a committee like we are doing to find out why the one in Mombasa is working and the one in Nigeria is not working. And we are now trying to do your job. And now you are trying to accuse the Senate President of being there. I never traveled to China in my life, so I don't know. Okay, I've been to China before. So, Deputy Senate President, please bail me out. Are you going to second the motion by... if you are not seconding, say so that we can rule.
You see,
anybody that wants to second the motion?
Let's not take this in, lightly.
We are not taking it lightly, but he has no
country that has ever developed without a good rail system. And we cannot be an exception.
I know.
We have spent billions and billions of naira to invest in the rail system. So we must investigate very well what is happening.
You are angry that Senator Ndume tried to personalize it by mentioning the Senate President, right? Okay. So in the absence of anybody, seconding Ndume's motion, you are hereby ruled out of order. Yes. Distinguished colleagues, let me say that the outcome of the investigation will really determine the next focus of the Senate and also what we convey to the executive by way of final resolution of this matter. But I thank all. And I thank particularly Senator Ide Dafinone. This has been a very worrisome situation. There is no country that operates without a good rail system. And this will also, if we get it right, it will save our roads. And it will make it easy for goods and services to move through our ports and through the rail to their destinations. So I don't need to say more than that. But I thank the distinguished colleagues for this decision. So we will now set up the ad hoc committee. DSP. Distinguished Senator Shumole. Distinguished Senator Shumole. Distinguished Senator Shumole and Distinguished Senator Ojo Sokalo. Please, yes, approach the chair. And it is something that we have to take very, very, very seriously. So accordingly, the Senate has composed an ad hoc committee to investigate the persistent derailment of our rail lines and then also undertake a full-scale investigation into the loans that were taken for these rail facilities, the implementation, the uses, and the reason why we're having all the teething problems, why other countries are enjoying their rail services. They will, at the same time, also posit solution to Nigeria's rail situation. With 140-something or 50-something million people, Nigeria cannot afford to put all the weight on the roads. The road infrastructure we are currently doing will not survive. So it's important to move most of our goods and services through the rails. But the consistent derailment, the nature of implementation, today you see that the track is failing or the rail is falling or whatever is happening. So we have never had 1 year of uninterrupted service since we took the trillions of loans from China. We need to look at how the loans were utilized and the implementation. And I think this is a service we owe to our country. So the hardcore committee will draw up terms of reference. The leadership will also give them additional terms of reference. But you will please go all the way and come back with a report that even the executive will be proud of to implement. I thank you. So the members will be, because of the peculiarity of it, we decided to ensure that somebody who has the interests of workers should be the chairman, because Nigerian people must feel the impact. So the Distinguished Senator Adams Oshumole, you will chair the hardcore committee. Other members will be Distinguished Senator Babangida. At least he has a lot of knowledge, having been a permanent secretary in the Ministry of Works and Housing. Then we include very distinguished Senator Abaribe, landlord of the Senate, and a very committed Nigerian, and a man of incorruptibility. A man that says it the way it is. So I know you care for this country. Senator Abaribe, you can win election in any party. That's why we are not worried about you. The chairman of the Senate Committee on Transportation, distinguished Senator Alero, will also be there. And then, of course, distinguished Senator Oshilogu. Of course, if we don't move things by rail, we'll move it to marine services. So we think you should also be there, because it will help you to decongest the ports if the rail lines are working. Distinguished Senator Ositango, you have a lot of knowledge, and you were the only PDP senator that survived in 2023 in the whole of the 5 states of Southeast. But now, I don't know, you are still the minority whip, so I wouldn't know whether you have decided to enter the APC. But I recognize you where you are seated for now. I'm still looking at you until you finally disclose to the Senate where you actually belong. I have an idea. I don't want to disclose, but let him use his mouth to disclose. I don't know, the day he does that, we'll lead him from there. So, distinguished Senator Ojus Okalu, an elder statesman. I know regime after regime, you are right from 1999. So you will know when the loan was conceived, how it was executed, and everything. Please assist the committee with your reservoir of information. But where you think there is conflict, if any of your companies undertook any job there, please just step aside to avoid conflict of interest. The distinguished Senator Yayi Olamileko, from the financial standpoint, we believe you should also be there. The distinguished Senator Dan Kwambo, from the financial standpoint, in case this thing actually happened when you were accountant general, before you became governor. So we want you to tell us where the money went to. So please agree to serve in this committee. And then, of course, one of our ladies, the distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe, she's an engineer, so she should be able to have knowledge of quality engineering, and she's also representing the North Central in this committee. Then distinguished Senator Sahabi Yao, you are a member of this committee because you were there. You were the first chairman of, I think, transport. Was it? Huh? No, use your mic because I would like to.
They are quite all right, and I knew exactly what we did to improve upon what has happened in Abuja Kaduna rail line, and I believe this information could be of valuable importance.
Then you were chairman of
land transport. That was in the 9th Senate. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anyway, the distinguished Senator Sahabi Yao, you came highly recommended as a result of your wide experience. And we believe that going forward, the solution that you have, at least part of the solution to resolving these issues, and then charting a way forward for the country. And then the mover of the motion, who has been an eyewitness to the derailment, the distinguished Senator Ide Dafinone. So I think this is okay, but the chairman, you have a right to call up anybody that you think has enough information to enable you to do your work within the chambers to join you. Your report is expected in 4 weeks at most. It's a very serious issue. 4 weeks. Is that the wish of the Senate? Those in support say aye, those against say nay. So please, in 4 weeks, very important.
Abdul Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Center of Bauchi State. Mr. President, this motion cannot come at a better time than now. Mr. President, this is a very, very sad story, sad development. This is a line that was constructed no more than 6 years ago. And this is just the southern corridor. You look at the times of derailment, over 11 derailments from 2023 to date. We're not even comparing the derailment of the northern corridor between Abuja and Kaduna. This is the summary, the tragic summary, Mr. President, of Nigeria as a nation that seeks development. Billions have been spent to construct these lines with the intention of bringing succor to our people. If you look at the road infrastructure in Nigeria and the nature of it, it was a welcome development when the then government of the day began to nurse this idea of railway construction. But Mr. President, ab initio, from the beginning of that project to the completion of that project, we have not, as a country, we have not taken into consideration what went into that project first and foremost, and whether or not the lines laid were the top range lines that we've seen in other climes. If you compare the amount of money spent on railways in Nigeria between 2019 to date and other climes, Mr. Senate President, you will now know that we're not moving an inch. Mr. President, this is a huge indictment to even the National Assembly as an entity. How long, how many times have our committees actually take time to oversight some of these projects? This is about the 11th derailment. Have we had any report, except today, by a committee that is silent to oversight this project? Mr. President, the answer is no. Also, this is an indictment to various anti-graft agencies that we have in this country. The quantum of money spent and the terrible, tragic derailments that happens day in, day out. Mr. President, nobody seems to care about it. It's costing lives, it's costing property, it's costing a lot of money. Tell me, how do we get another money to do these lines again? Considering the fact that all the two lines, the southern corridor, the northern corridor, money were borrowed to do it. But Mr. President, our bureaucrats, our experts, compromise the standards. Look at Abuja, Kaduna, every 1-2 months. Nothing works. Even the escalators in the railway stations, they don't work. Nobody cares whether it works or not. So certainly this is a very sad development, and I don't know where we are going as a nation. If we continue to borrow money, we didn't use petroleum money or any other money to develop these lines. We borrowed money from Chinese, and yet this is a tragedy we are harvesting. I think, Mr. President, we have to be more serious. We have to be more focused. Those who are responsible, the agencies, the railway agencies, the Ministry of Transport, must come to account. We can't just allow all these things to be happening. A lot of times they say, President has created ministry and created ministers. And the president cannot do all these things at a time because there are agents that are saddled with this responsibility. Even taking this matter to committee to do an investigation is neither here nor there because the committee, I've been sure, is actually saddled to oversight it. Where is the report? When is the trouble? So, Mr. President, I think we need to be more serious, and I commend Senator Dapinone. These are things that will make a difference. These are things that will make democracy tick. Because without parliament, Mr. President, democracy doesn't survive. We have to do what we ought to do and question those who are responsible for this thing. Mr. President, I so second.
My name is Engineer Patrick C. Ndubweze, representing Imo North. Mr. President, I will first of all appreciate Senator Dafinone Ede, who have shown why he has to take over from his father, late Senator Dafinone. If you watch the way and manner he has listed out the incidents on this rail line, it shows what? His concern, it shows his love for this nation, it shows his commitment that we should do better. This is exactly 10 incidents on one rail line. I would suggest that we don't need to debate much about this. Rather, adopt all he has called for in this motion, whole and entire. Rather, also suggest that the ministry and the agency in particular, the Nigerian Rail Corporation, should be reorganized entirely. They are not doing their job. We should also draw the attention of the security agencies. They are lacking so much. And to add to what he has demanded here, I will also say, it's not only linking that line to Abuja. We should link the Abuja with all the external lines, maybe the one leading Port Harcourt to Maiduguri, the one going, and all the rest of them. So we should link our Federal Capital Territory consciously with the rail line. It will help us decongest the road, reduce traffic by that matter, reduce stress. We should commit to extending rail lines throughout this nation. Our roads are terrible. And by the time we construct today or rehabilitate today, the next moment is gone. But by the time we make this an essential project in this country, rail lines, most of our loads will be going through the rail cargo, and that will help to save our roads. So, for what has happened, let us ask that Nigerian Rail Corporation should be reorganized and people who has the proper consciousness be placed in that rail organization. They should start now to map out the possible future rail lines. I'm not saying they will start constructing rail lines immediately. The reason for this mapping is like what came up on roads last time when the issue of concrete roads came up. We could not and we did not anticipate that as to make the provision to map it so that we can provide routes
for ducts of pipes and all the rest of them in the past. And now we are going into concrete roads. In future, we'll be cutting the roads to pass our ducts. It is now a call, clearance call, that we should map out the possible routes of rail lines in future. Very, very important. We should add it to this. And in all, I repeat, let us adopt what our brother, Senator Ede Daphne, have made here so that we can move forward in this country. Thank you.
Distinguished colleague, Adeola Olamilekan, representing Ogun West Senatorial District in the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Mr. President, let me also join in commending the mover of this motion, Senator Ide Dafilone. Mr. President, my own contribution will be a little bit different because reading through the motion of Senator Dafilone, I noticed that emphasis was on Ujewu Itakpe standard gauge rail line. And I've listened to the contribution of some of my colleagues who have spoken that centers on the generality of the rail infrastructure in Nigeria. Mr. President, without going separate ways, I want to quite agree with Senator Ningi, who I met while he was contributing, that yes, the federal government have borrowed so much money to invest into the rail lines. And it will call for concern if some of these rail lines have started failing due to, one, some technical or mechanical faults, and two, a majorly vandalization by some unscrupulous Nigerians. But Mr. President, one thing this motion is seeking us to do is clear. It has drawn our attention on the importance of this rail line to the at least to the Nigerian rail line corridor. But when was this rail line constructed? When last was maintenance carried out on this rail line? We should know all of this so as to guide us as to what, because when you look at, yes, we have invested. Is it one of the rail line constructed during the last administration? Is it one of the rail lines? If it is, then it calls for a full-blown investigation. If it's recently, a full-blown investigation, because we know how much, in millions of dollars, that was borrowed to construct these rail lines. And that is why I want to be clear. And I'm happy that it's one of the newest rail lines that is newly constructed. So we have to call on the committee to carry out a full-blown investigation on this particular item so that we can get to the root of it. Because if you listen to some of the observations contained in this document, day by day activities, that is from January 2nd, 2023 to October 29, 2025, when this rail line resumed, the mover of this motion was able to chronicle all the activities of what transpired, of what happened on a day by day, from mechanical fault to technical fault to vandalization. So, Mr. President, I'm in total support of this motion and calling on the Senate to carry out a dutiful investigation on the root cause of this continued disruption of the rail line services of Ijewu Itaipe Standard Gauge Rail. Mr. President, distinguished colleague, I so submit.
All others were speaking politics. Nobody wanted to hit the nail on the head. So let me thank distinguished Senator Olamilekan. Distinguished Senator Ide Dafinone, this motion is timely. I know that there's what they call warranty in contracts. There's no way you can finish constructing a rail line and something gets spoiled in 5 years. You must go back to those who did the installation and those who supplied the rail facilities. It will be their responsibility, not the responsibility of the Nigerian government. We have had crashes, derailments, too many. And it is also one of the infrastructure, I should say, that has cost Nigeria a lot of indebtedness. And as even the head of the China Rails that supplied this rail line to us was visited by the Chinese equivalent of EFCC, and he jumped through the window in a 48-story building and died. Because there, corruption is not taken lightly. So in our own case, talking and talking and talking will not solve the problem. We have to get to the root of how much was borrowed for these rail lines, how much was spent on this rail line, who were the people who handled the contract of installation, and how come there was no warranty, who are those purchasing or paying for the repairs, and how can you finish a rail line, commission it, and in 3 months there is derailment, or it stops midway. And then some of them 5 days, it stops midway, and all that. Senator Babangida, you've been a permanent secretary in, was it Ministry of Works or FCT? Works and Housing. So if you were among those culpable in this, we have to find we have to do something about it. But please just lend your voice. That's what I'm talking about this having an opportunity to investigate and find out how much was borrowed, how much was expended, and we cannot continue to pay money on something we have never used, something that is costing lives, and then most of our very heavy items ought to move through rail in order to save the traction on the roads and also save the roads that we are constructing. But that is not the case today. So I don't know whether you have any explanation to make if it was during your tenure.
Thank you very much to go to this very important debate. The truth, Mr. President, is that distinguished colleagues, we tend to treat matters like this with levity. Maintenance issues, in fact, from conception to completion, our approach to project management and delivery is very, very opaque and very, very poor. And I think it is apt and proper for this very important matter to be thoroughly investigated with a view to forestalling future occurrences. I don't want to say much, but I believe you are thinking, Mr. President, and the thinking of this hallowed chamber is in the right traction for us to really dig deeper and determine, one, the loan, how it was packaged, the technical details of the project itself, including specifications and including the standards, and also the technical details in terms of project delivery. And then you now look at why is it that we're having this kind of problems, while other countries have similar projects that are delivering for more than 20, 30 years. We have the very clear examples. The same Chinese built the Mombasa-Kenya rail line. It's doing very well. It's one of the most important projects delivered in Africa by the Chinese. And they have not had any problem. But here, we're having continuous issues maintaining and managing our infrastructure and the rail line. And permit me, Mr. President, to say that the poor condition of our rail line is a direct consequence and a direct result why our roads are failing. Because movement of freight, goods and services on road takes a toll on the condition and the durability of the roads. And that's why my brother, the senator, overseeing FEMA, is having gray hair now, managing national roads, Senator Sahabiyahu, because the roads are failing. The volume of traffic, the volume of cargo moving north to south, south to north, it said that it's beginning to wear down on the condition of our highways. So I think, Mr. President, I thank you for the opportunity to speak on this matter, and I think you have the idea behind digging deeper to determine what really happened is in the right traction. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Nigerians have reacted to this video of the Deputy Senate President trying to tell Akpabio not to be scared of Trump. And, Nigerians have really reacted to that. I'm going to take you through the reactions. The person who posted it on the social media said, "Dear Donald Trump, the Nigerian Deputy Senate President has called you a liar. This is for you to know." And he called the attention of a congressman. So let's see how Nigerians are reacting to this. A whole lot is happening, Now, this person said, make this senator pray, say their names know their names of noisemakers list. Because Asoro can't do shit when the time comes. So Asoro can't save you when the time comes. This is volume 1. Another person here, Nigerians, this person said Boko Haram are busy begging their sponsors and support to continue pushing American government away so that they can resume their assault. You won't hear about Boko Haram for now. They want his American involvement to be thwarted first before they resume their onslaught. Honestly. And this other person is a full-time comedian running a country under siege. Nigeria's sovereignty has become a punchline for terror groups. Bunch of food jokes. These people treat Nigeria's sovereignty like a playground for terror organizations. And this one here said, Official DSS, Defense Headquarters, Nigeria. This man, our FEV online doctor, is one of the unscrupulous elements living outside Nigeria like the IPOB cohort, pushing false narrative on ropes and corrupt U.S. politicians with the intent of destabilizing the summit of Nigeria at Nigeria governors at Nigeria Senate, FY. So guys, a whole lot is happening here, and this person said, and you are an adult, so you want Trump to come and beat him, 70-year-old man. So the Senate president is the deputy Senate president is telling Akpabio not to be scared of Trump, and he doesn't know why he's scared of Trump. And yeah, this person is a bunch of unserious people. That's why Trump called Nigeria a disgraced country. It's interesting that everyone acknowledges Nigeria as a sovereign nation. Yet I would like to ask, what is typically said to the United States when seeking aid from them? I think this makes sense. Nigeria is not a sovereign state, a sovereign country. You people should be scared of Trump. Now just one drop, they say it don't go be that too. Please don't try Trump. Another person, I laugh in Swahili. Nigeria forget that Iran was bombed a few months ago, not to mention Nigeria. And this other person here say, but you are scared of Tinubu. You have never spoken truth to power, nor defended Nigerians, but here you are making noise because your fellow Northerners are hypocrites just as you are. And I blame Trump. He should have fired one missile to shake things up. Trump would have just fired one missile to shake things up, honestly. And this person say, ever since I came across this so-called online doctor, he hasn't displayed an ounce of intelligence, just pure empty noise. A certified dummy with zero sense. And this person say, you are such an eleriburuku, you will be shamed in the end. Nothing is going to happen to Nigeria. You are just dreaming. And this other person here say, Akpabio thinks that the whole thing is funny. They don't see the negotiation are currently ongoing between US and some parts of the country. The Nigerian leadership are so clueless that they can't even see what is going on. How would they see it? And this person said Trump should nuke Nigeria using the B-2B fighter jet as soon as possible to avoid terrorists kidnapping and killing people this festive period. Portus, Nigeria government is not ready to end the killing. Media propaganda is just what they are doing. The uselessness we have in the house. They are making jokes and don't even care that Islamic terrorists killed again yesterday. Hi. It's really touching. Oh, Jesus, they bite people again yesterday. So he will go flog him. Ask him to do frog jump and pin his head on the floor, Abi. And this other person here said, farming social engagement, how much will you make when you convert it to £2? The money can't even buy a transport ticket. Don't be so cheap, bro. This person say, hey, tell them to bring a cane to come and flog him for calling him a liar. You will get sense by force. So, and this other person here said, dear Trump, please come and see. Embrace your sovereignty with courage. Let unity be your shield against division and watch your country thrive. And this person said, let me tag Department of War. The Nigerian Senate said, you are a coward. And this person said, there is a bold accusation. That's a bold accusation. Whatever one's position, diplomacy and facts should guide public statement, not emotion. This is a sensitive time. Leaders on all sides should speak with caution and respect to truth. Really? Why are the Northerners so angry about what Trump said? Just want to know. Oh my God. I think this makes sense, Buhari was right about the social media of a thing. We never really matured to be allowed such freedom. Dear Donald Trump, Portus, this is for your kind review and hearing. This is for your kind review and hearing. And this person say, if you like, tag Adolf Hitler, join Trump. Trump is a well-known liar. We all know. Anyway, I will stop here. These are some of the reactions from Nigerians. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you.